it never gets old.
I actually really like that.
What?
That beginning, the intro.
Oh, well. It's still a work in progress. Like, that's not even the final version.
Yeah, it still sounds good.
Yeah. It's like, it goes with what I want to do, but I'm too lazy to arrange that.
Got it.
Like, make the arrangement. So, I'll just add audio clip. Every podcast session, I'll add more of our little snippets until it's a whole
Got a whole thing. Got a whole
fucking thing.
board.
So you want to talk Ozark?
Yes. So let's just say right at the beginning so nobody can come for us. Spoilers are ahead if
Right.
you haven't watched the last 7 episodes that were just made available.
I've only seen the first season.
So you're familiar with the premise.
Yeah, kind of. It's been a few years.
Well, so Ozark is a show that is about a family who starts money laundering for the Mexican cartel.
I'm on board.
And the show is all about how they navigate, owning certain businesses and shell corporations to launder all of this money. And they get, at each season they get more and more in the shit, right? To the point where they're having people killed, and what started off as let's just launder some money for this short amount of time turns into we are now owned by the cartel and they will kill us if we don't do what they say. So it's a great show. The acting is really great. The writing is awesome. I really like it. Mike and I binged the last 7 episodes. And it ended not the way I wanted it to end, but I still appreciated the way it ended because something about the Ozark that I really love is how they're able to show exactly the inner operating elite in not just this country but globally, how it works everywhere. And part of me is thinking, because I'm a firm believer in pre-programming. I think stuff is put into our entertainment because the operators of this world have to tell you what they're doing. It's part of the contract. They have to tell you what's going on. So they hide things in entertainment, whether it's a song, a TV show, a movie. And there are major truths on this show that I can't even believe they put on TV because it's kind of letting the cat out of the bag of how this all operates.
MK Ultra?
It's the show does an amazing job of taking these elite political pieces of shit, and it's on both sides, because on the show it's not just the Democrat politicians, it's the Republican politicians too, because they work together. And it's all about how much money you have and who you know. If you know the right people and you got the money, you can do anything you fucking want. Literally. I mean, once again, spoilers. By the end of the show, they have judges in their back pocket. They have police. They have drug companies now who are buying the heroin from the Mexican cartel to put in their pharmaceuticals. No one ever gets in trouble. The people who should be getting in trouble always get away scot-free. And the show does an amazing job also of showing the difference in the class structure of the United States, where you have the poor, you have middle class, and you have elite. and the elite look down on the poor, even though what the fucking elite is doing is the same exact thing as what the poor people are doing. The poor people are committing crime. They're, you know, petty theft and dealing drugs out of a strip joint or whatever. But the elite are no better because they're literally doing the same thing, just in a bigger operation. So it's like two extremes of society that are actually acting the same exact way. But the poor people on the show end up having, because there's like the towny hillbillies, on that show that end up helping the family do all of this stuff. What I noticed was it was the poor people who had the most loyalty, the most integrity, and the politicians and the judge, they were shameless and spineless and disgusting. It's like dog eat dog world, where they don't care who they step on as long as they get what they want. But at least the small town poor hillbilly criminals, at the very least, they had integrity. They didn't throw their friends under the bus. They believed in family. They believed, it was just very well done. But I fucking hated the ending. And are you going to watch it, or can I spoil it for you?
No, you can. I haven't watched it yet, so they all die.
No, none of them die. You know who ends up dying in the last episode? The one character, the character that I wanted to live, which was Ruth, the girl who grew up in poverty, who, had criminal family.
She took over the strip club.
She took over the strip. Yes. Well, then she ended up she started working at they bought a casino, and then she starts working the casino and whatever. She ends up learning the ropes herself. But she ends up dying, and the fucking mother bitch lives. And I had such a hard time with that, because I really wanted the bitch mother to die and Ruth to live and finally live out her life, peacefully, because she never had peace. And no, but you know what? That's how the world actually works. So I didn't like the ending, but it ended exactly the way it would in real life. The poor people get fucked while the criminal elite get away with murder every day. You know what that reminds me of?
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
You ain't in it.
You and I are not in the big club.
Yeah. The big club.
Yeah.
You ain't in it.
And I don't really want to be in it. The Tina of 20 years ago might have wanted to be in it.
I would have flown on Epstein's plane.
I can actually see that, believe it or not.
No.
As you're jizzing in your own mouth.
Yeah, they don't let people like that on the plane.
Well, no, because you don't have anything to offer. See, once again, if you have money and you know people, you can make things happen. Do you think Jussie Smollett, if he was
Juicy Smollett?
Juicy Smollett, do you think he if he was just a regular Joe Schmo, he would have gotten away with all of that?
Well,
I don't.
He didn't get away with it.
He spent a week in jail.
Well, I'm not saying the punishment fit the crime, but he didn't.
And he still has people siding with him and who are like, believe him, even though the fucking story he's telling is so unbelievable and has been proven to be completely false.
Well, again.
Okay, pick someone. Pick any elite person who's done nefarious things and they had zero repercussion over it.
That's most of them, yes.
Yeah. If it were you and I, we'd be fucked.
Yeah, probably.
Because we don't have anything to offer. If I had millions of dollars sitting in an account and I could pay someone off so I can get off scot-free, so what do we have to do to become millionaires? I don't know.
What do we have to do?
Yeah, I don't really want to.
You don't want to be a millionaire? I do. I would love to be a millionaire.
All I want in my life is to live comfortably. I don't want to be rich and I don't want to be poor. I want to live comfortably. That's it.
Unfortunately, that gap
is narrowing every day.
Every day.
Yeah. When you got gas almost $5 a gallon, groceries insane. You want to fix your car, good luck. Can't get parts.
I'm going on month, let's see, 3. This is 3 months waiting for parts on my car.
So, the hurt is in.
Mm-hmm.
It's only going to get worse. But I really do think you should watch the show.
I liked the first season. I like Jason Bateman, but I can only take so much Jason Bateman.
Yeah, he's
the same. He's Jason Bateman in every movie.
It's funny. I saw a funny YouTube short that popped up in my recommended, and the title of it was one month watching Ozark or something, and it starts off like one day watching Ozark.
Mm-hmm.
1 week watching Ozark, and then it's like, yeah, so okay. He starts talking like Jason Bateman. You know how
Right.
he does that, where I can't do a good impression of him.
I could play 7 Jason Bateman audio clips.
And you
wouldn't be able to pick the movie.
You wouldn't be able to.
They're all the same.
It's very much like a Ben Stiller, where
Ben Stiller had Zoolander and
but everything he does, you could chop up every movie he's ever done and splice it all together, and he's the same person in every movie.
Yeah,
it's the same mannerisms, the same. I'm not fond of him, but
I prefer Jason Bateman over.
Oh, I would take Jason Bateman any day over.
Right. But he doesn't have the widest range. So I liked the first season, and I remember telling myself, oh, you got to watch the other seasons, but I just can't. I can't watch TV. I can't watch shows anymore.
There are very few shows that I watch. I
lose interest.
I watch maybe because a lot of these shows stream. The new thing is having these short series where it's 1 season long. It tells a whole story in 1 season, as opposed to multiple seasons. I'm not a big TV person, but I did like Ozark, and I'm watching another show right now, Outer Range, which is turning out to be pretty decent.
Never heard of it.
It's on Prime or whatever. We have a Roku, so I don't have cable, so some stuff is on. That's the other thing. Some stuff is on Prime, some stuff is on Netflix, some stuff is on Hulu. So I can't keep track of it all. I watch 3 shows, and that's it.
I watch The Flash, even though it's awful. But
that guy's weird.
Which guy?
The guy who plays Flash. Isn't it the same guy from the...
No. Grant Gustin
Oh, okay. Different guy.
He's amazing.
Not what's his
Not
face.
Ezra Miller.
Yes, Ezra Miller.
Ezra Miller is. It's so unfortunate because the movie's coming out, and I've been waiting for like a Flash movie for my entire life. And now all this shit happened with him getting arrested and assaults and
Yeah, he like went off
in
the deep end.
Hawaii of all the nice, wonderful, happy places for that to be your
Yeah.
place. But no, Grant Gustin, shit, they have a petition right now to reshoot the movie with Grant Gustin, the guy from the show,
I mean,
because he's like really good as the Flash. The show sucks now, but I only watch it out of habit at this point. I don't watch anything else. I watch 0 shows.
yeah, I'm not. See, the problem I have with shows is I can see all like the programming in it. So I have a hard time watching shows without suspending disbelief or I'm constantly saying, "Oh yeah, the Illuminati sign, Oh yeah, gotta, make a one eye sign somewhere." Yeah, I'm constantly criticizing everything because it's all so obvious now.
I mean, I just can't get behind shows because nobody knows how to write
Thank
interesting
you.
stories
Thank
anymore.
you, Sophia. When you inevitably listen to this podcast, get on the writing train, make mommy some millions, write a good script, write a good book, sell it to someone.
So
'Cause
they
y-
could massacre it. So they could take your beautiful work
No,
and bastardize it.
I'm joking, but I do think she should be a writer, and I think she could write some amazing stuff. And it's what's crazy is I'm like, man, the 15-year-old can write better than the guy writing a show for NBC. To me, that means it's got to be on purpose, right?
Yes.
Because how does the kid write something better than the adult?
Because nobody wants to write something compelling and engaging and makes you think. They want to make a hospital drama,
Cookie cutter.
right? Like paint by numbers, insert. Okay, we need a black guy, a Chinese girl,
Yep.
a young white girl, the older white but wise male, and it's every show.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of creativity, but it's not. I think there's a bunch of creative people out there. They just don't let them write anything.
Right? They don't
It's
want
not
that.
It's not allowed.
They're like, wait a second. We read your script. Nobody's fucking. We need more fucking in this show. Like every time I watch that's why I couldn't watch hospital
Yeah.
dramas. I mean, other than the fact that, and I'm not a doctor, but
Clearly,
yeah, half the shit that they
Yes.
say though, it's like doesn't make any sense. And then every third scene, someone's in a dark room fucking a nurse, and it's like, is this how hot? Is this why we have such a big bubble of nurses? Like, but yeah, it's people don't. The studios don't want to make things like that. They want to make
they want programming. They cater their programming to the type of person that would watch that shit.
that still has cable.
Yeah. You got to be out of your mind to still have cable. Out of your mind.
I mean, I pay a lot for internet. I do. But
Yeah,
I couldn't-
the internet and my landline, because yes, I still have a landline, is expensive, but still not nearly what it was paying Comcast for cable. It was insane. Our bill was like $250 a month, and I'm like, for what? Nobody. I'll tell you this.
Telemundo.
Mike canceled the cable. Do you know the kids didn't realize the cable was canceled 4 days because they don't even watch that stuff.
Yeah, there's
So nobody had even known until I think it was Sophia went to go watch a movie like Hamilton, or she wanted to watch something, and she's like, "Where's the cable?" "Oh yeah, we got a Roku now. Sorry, stream it on one of these things, and if it ain't there, too fucking bad. Watch it on YouTube."
if you can't find it on YouTube,
Yeah.
it doesn't exist. Yeah, I it's been a while since I've had cable, but I think back when I had the old triple play, it was 100 and the promotional rate was like 100 and something. And then it jumped to like 2 something.
Yeah, you've got to be out of your mind to pay that kind of money for shit you're not even going to watch. It's absurd. And I've been telling Mike for a few years now to get rid of the cable, and he finally agreed and did it. And he's like, "Yeah, we should have did this a long time ago." I'm like, "I'm aware."
Well, I I don't like the alternative though. I don't like that every network, every whatever broadcast, they all have their own apps, and I get it. Obviously, Netflix kind of ushered in that era of streaming, but I mean, let's say there is a show, one show. Let's say Ozark was on ABC Plus,
It would never happen, but okay.
but if it did,
Mm-hmm.
and the only way you could see it was paying $7.99 a month for however many months, and then you'd obviously cancel. But you know, I don't like that.
Yeah, that does get annoying. That's why.
That's why I pirate everything.
That's what I was just about to say. That's why you do it the good old fashioned way.
Yeah. No, for
No,
sure.
I'm not into. Oh, the other show that I really liked that I haven't been able to watch because I don't even have the channel anymore, and it's not streaming on anything that we have, is Servant, that M. Night Shyamalan show.
Yeah.
That is really good. I haven't watched the new season because I don't have anywhere to watch it. So at this point, I'm just waiting, biding my time.
What is Servant? I've never even
It's
heard
really
of this.
it's very fucked up.
Oh, it's on Apple TV. I got it.
Yeah, and we don't have that anymore.
Is that Ron Weasley?
Yes.
Oh,
I love his character on that show.
interesting. A Philadelphia couple is in mourning after an unspeakable tragedy creates a rift in their marriage and opens the door for a mysterious force.
Yeah, it's
enter
very
their
good.
home.
It's very good.
Gets good ratings.
Mm-hmm. No, it's very good. Once again, the acting is great. The writing is interesting. The concept I really like. It's one of those things because it's M. Night Shyamalan. There's a twist. There's a little twist going on. But yeah, I won't pay the whatever it is to get Apple Plus for a month to watch it because I'm like, fuck you. I already have all this other shit.
Well,
I'll just pirate it or watch it on YouTube because there's always clips,
well,
or BitChute, whatever.
well. This is the thing: is you can cut cable, but you're paying. Okay, you pay $100 a month for internet, so you're like, all right, I'm saving $100 cutting cable, right? And then you got Netflix, who is drowning right now
Thank God.
because they're cracking down on passwords and sharing.
Yeah. Because everyone's leaving and they need to make up revenue somewhere.
Yeah, well, Netflix, in my opinion, has really,
There ain't nothing on
yeah,
Netflix.
they haven't had that killer
No.
show. They used to have some, but not anymore. Now that everybody has their own streaming service, they don't have to license their content to Netflix. They just push out their own app and whatever. Because you used to find good shows, but then people sign up with Prime, The Boys. I do watch The Boys.
I've never seen it.
You should watch that. Because it's like right up my alley with superhero stuff, but right up your alley with if there were superheroes, this is how it would actually be. Like disgusting, awful. Anyway,
You mean they're not all helpful?
oh my god, you should watch it. It's sad sometimes. It like hits you right in the because if someone with the powers of Superman, they wouldn't
They would
fight
abuse
for
it.
justice in the American
Yeah, they
way.
would. They would. They'd probably start off with good intentions and just get corrupted like everyone else.
Right.
You know.
And that's the show. It's corruption.
Which, by the way, Dad and I were talking about this. Every single aspect of life has been completely infiltrated and fucked with. Our police, the military, everything. Our entertainment industry, politics, everything has been completely fucked with, and it's been on purpose. The question is just, how long is the charade gonna last,
Well, you should watch The Boys. So you cut the cable, then you got your Amazon Prime. It's $10 a month. You're holding on to Hulu for $9 a month.
Well,
Then-
I get a lot of those on the Roku. Like,
Yeah, but
a lot of them, we kind of like rotate stuff out.
you still
know
have
what
to
I mean?
pay for it.
It's still not nearly as much as cable.
No, it's not.
But I would preferably, in a perfect world, would like to stream from one platform and that's it. But I understand why it's chopped up the way it is. But I'm not participating in the nonsense. I'll pirate it. Sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Well, if Comcast was competitive with their rates, right? I think pirating is a result. Here's a good example. Louis C.K. Louis C.K. was, and he might still do it, but finances, produces, pays for his specials.
It's like Sandler.
Well,
Like
I don't like
Sandler does
Sandler.
all of his movies and stuff. Yeah.
No. Well, yeah, but there's still studio intervention.
Mm.
Louis C.K. does it all himself, puts it on his website, $5.
That's fair.
That is fair because the effort it would go into me pirating that is not like the $5 is worth it for the instantaneous and supporting the artist. So it's priced right. If you priced cable right and it wasn't $270 and it was reasonable, I would go back to cable. If I can get most of the things on one platform.
I'm wondering if cable is purposely getting phased out to accommodate the streaming services.
No.
You
I
don't
don't
think
think so.
You think there will always be like a Comcast cable
Yes.
or DirecTV or whatever the fuck is out there?
I think at some point it will be Like, it doesn't cost Comcast any more to push cable to your set top box, right? Like, it doesn't cost them, well, except bandwidth, but so I think at one point in the very near future, cable TV will be just a little add on. Like, oh, you want, 100 channels, $10 a month kind of thing. Because there are a few things that are tough to license outside of cable. Things like live sporting events, you know, there will always be a place for cable,
Like a pay-per-view kind of thing.
kind of. Um, so yeah, I think Comcast and cable in general will always kind of be a thing, but eventually everybody's going to have their own platform. ABC, which is Disney, which is ESPN, because they own
That's
Disney.
yeah,
Disney owns
it's the
everything.
big umbrella, yeah.
Your Paramount Plus, your HBO Max, your all that, your Showtime, they all have their own platform, and eventually, there isn't going to be a need for cable because everything is going to have its own app. The problem with that is, like I said, yeah, you're going to save money on the cable, but then you're going to have 10 different streaming apps
So
at $10 a
what
month.
you're saying is you're fucked either way. It really
Correct.
doesn't
They're
matter.
gonna get their money, folks.
Yes. It's
It's
a game.
It is.
That's why just pirate your shit.
Well, that's easy for someone like you or I, especially me, to say because I know how to do it. Not, I mean, this is hypothetical. I would never.
Allegedly.
I would never pirate anything. But for your average Joe, like I think what was it? You and I, like, think of how dumb most people are,
Mm-hmm.
and then realize that most of them are even more
Dumber?
dumb. Like, so yeah, most people don't know how to pirate, don't know how to get it. They only know what they know through Comcast. Like, think of like our parents.
Yeah, I don't think they're
You know,
they're hip to the pirating.
no. So they're kind of stuck. If they get rid of Comcast, they don't even know how to stream YouTube to the TV. So it's
They'll
like,
have to go back to knitting.
well,
That's it.
baking bread.
Living life.
The good old days.
Hey, I almost want to go back to Little House on the Prairie times.
No, you're insane.
I think it would be great.
No, I strongly disagree. I need
The dysentery would be a problem.
Yeah.
But I'm,
no. I need every piece of electronical equipment that I have. All of it. I need all of this.
I obviously I use it. I have a phone. We have a laptop when it's not being commandeered by a child.
I have too many laptops.
But if we had no internet or any of that tomorrow, I don't think I would miss it too much.
You would.
Maybe at first, but
Well, yeah.
I'm
After time, you wouldn't.
but that amount of time is very short for me. I don't foresee it. Because I honestly I hate technology. That's why you're the master over here doing all the sound stuff, because it would make me wanna hurt myself if I had to do it.
Yeah. I mean, I think okay, so I've debated this with myself. Even though I can't because of my job, but I I was really interested for a long time on going back to a dumb phone. Like they make phones even today
What's
specifically
what's that old people one? The
the
ladybug?
jitterbug.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ladybug.
Yeah, ladybug, jitterbug, same thing. But yeah, they make dumb phones that do nothing but make phone calls and
Awesome.
text.
That's all I really want.
And you know, for a while I was just, I would look at my iPhone breaks down like screen time and stuff, and I'd look at it and be like, "Holy fucking shit." Like I spent 4 hours on Scrabble today? Like it's crazy. Like, you know, there was a couple years ago, I was way more invested in like Facebook and stuff. Then I would look like Facebook. Oh, you've been on Facebook for 6 hours, and it's like depressing.
Yeah, the older I get, the less I like social media.
Well, yeah, I mean, social media sucks. I never go on Facebook anymore. Very rarely. The only reason I keep it at this point is an archive of photos and stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't.
I keep it for that and the stupid fucking Oculus, you know?
Oh yeah, that's right. Well, I, I
Which is such bullshit.
I mean both of the kids and my girlfriend's son, they all have Oculuses. Um, we had to set him up on her phone, and then obviously the boys are connected to like my face. But once you do the initial setup, you don't really like it doesn't do anything. Like it doesn't need to sync or anything. It is. So yeah, it does suck that now in order to use your Oculus, you have to connect your Facebook account. You
Yeah,
have to have one.
it's such
Well,
it's
fucking you can blame Zuck the cuck, man. Like
such fucking nonsense. And then I found out because so the kids got their Oculus for Christmas one year from Mike's parents. And she did ask me, can I buy this? Because that was going to be like her family gift for each family. Everyone was going to get an Oculus, right? And I go, yeah, I guess, sure. I didn't really look into it. We get it, we hook it up, and it's like, oh, you need a Facebook account to do this. And I'm like, what? That's so what? So now I'm like, well, yeah, because they want your data. It's another.
Correct.
It's just a data fucking mining
well, they're gonna
shit.
they're gonna put it under the guise of connecting your payment methods
Yeah,
and your
which is
all that.
bullshit. They could do that separate. It's bullshit. It's
of course,
nonsense.
obviously.
So I'm like, well, what the hell? So I'm thinking to myself, do I open up just like a sock account or do I use my own? I used my own, thinking eventually if I want to switch this over, I'll switch it over. Well, then I decided I didn't want my Facebook anymore and I wanted to cancel it. Well, I find out you can't cancel your Facebook when you have that Oculus and then open a new account because they can't transfer the stuff from one account to the other account.
Yeah, it's tied
So
to
the 50 games my kids have on the Oculus, poof, gone. And I thought, these sneaky fucking bastards. Had I known that from jump, I would have said no.
Well, it depends on when you got the Oculus, because it wasn't always owned by Meta.
We got it not this past Christmas, the Christmas before.
It might have been Meta at that
Because
point.
I
don't know.
looked into it because I was determined to get rid of my face because I'm fucking done.
Just set it to private. Like set everything to private, set everything to no notifications. It's just a shell. It's just a shell of a social media account.
I can't even deal with it.
But that's where we get our news.
Guys, how are you going to know what's going on in the world?
How am I going to know
if you're not on Facebook?
I need to know what's happening with Kim and Yeezy and Skeet. Is that what his name? That's what they call him.
I don't
Skeet?
fucking know.
Yeah, we need to know all of this. I need to know, who's slapping who at what award ceremony. Like,
Who's shitting in what bed, and
right. I get all of that from Facebook.
you know.
DIY stuff, Facebook and TikTok. God, I hate TikTok so much.
I don't have TikTok. I won't even entertain the idea.
TikTok has some good, like, I think an app like TikTok has the potential to be really good because it does have a lot of like musical artists and stuff that aren't super famous, and I'll hear like someone playing the guitar or someone doing a musical thing. I'm like, wow, that's really cool. But that's like such a small fraction of
Yeah.
TikTok. And you kind of have to use the app.
You have to curate it almost.
Right.
Yeah.
So on default, like when I first was, browsing through TikTok, it was all half naked women
yeah.
trying to get you to go to their OnlyFans type thing.
I've heard.
Now it's not so much, but at the beginning it was.
Insane.
I lost a lot of money, spent a lot of money on OnlyFans. And the content just wasn't that. It's so weird because all the stuff that I've got on OnlyFans, I can get for free somewhere else.
Yeah, no kidding.
Do people realize that porn's basically free?
And then you have to ask yourself why porn is free.
Well, I think we all know the answer to that. Because what other joys is a middle-class man going to have than free pornography? Do you remember back in the day? Well, maybe you don't, but
DVDs?
No.
What?
Well, obviously there was DVDs, but the earlier days of the internet, when everything was stuck behind a paywall, and then just one day, it's all free.
Yeah, and what's your theory on why it's free?
I think. Well, like I said earlier, porn is one of the worst things to happen
Yes.
to the internet, to people, and I'm not even talking like, I'm even talking pre-internet, like porn in general.
Even like dirty magazines and stuff.
Right. Well, dirty magazines are kind of,
I'm not talking Playboy. I'm talking like Hustler, where you actually see
it's still gray
stuff.
It's still gray. You still got to use your imagination, but you have to add your own tears for Hustler, and you have to imagine the gape. But for actual porn, it's a little different. So, when you look at the degradation of women, you
Mhm.
look at the false ideas of what sex is and what people expect at especially a very young age. So I think that it became free as a tool of moral destruction for society.
Precisely.
Right. I agree with that. I think,
It's all done on purpose.
yeah,
And it's also another form of data mining. Because if you're stupid enough to create your own account on, say, I don't know, Pornhub, the AI now knows Anthony likes hentai porn and people shitting all over each other, and it's now
have
logged.
you been in my search history? Like, that's like spot on, sir.
It's just what I assumed.
I love watching people get shit on. Tentacles and shit.
Hey, you and Amber Heard might have made it.
I mean, don't
That
threaten
might
me
have-
with a good time.
that might have been
I would draw the line at shitting on. See, well, I draw the line at shitting, but if I were into it, I would be one of those like, let's lay down a couple towels. Like,
let's Dexter the room up first.
right. I don't want shit on the nice furniture. I don't want shit on my bed.
Yeah, porn is definitely a huge problem. A giant problem. And people get addicted to it like anything. I mean,
anything that releases some sort of chemical in your brain that feels
Yes.
good is
Serotonin,
dopamine.
dopamine, whatever.
Yeah, it's porn. That's what porn does, and that's why it, it's an addiction for a lot of people. I would say that a couple years ago, well, more than that, but in my mid to late 20s, probably, I was, I don't know if you could call it an addiction, but I was watching it a lot. A lot of clips. Sometimes I would spend a half hour just looking for that one clip I saw that I didn't bookmark. Nothing's worse than like remembering a clip, being like, "Oh God, that was a really good clip." But now there's so much that it's
It's
like
buried
I can't.
amongst all the other filth.
Right,
Yeah.
I can't even search it. Like it
Yeah.
just, I'm like, "Ugh, white girl, all fours, birthmark." I feel like I feel like I'm, I'm
Oddly specific.
right. I've got like the guy drawing the criminal in front of me. Like, all right, describe the scene. All right, there's a birthmark, left hip, tattoo, right arm, brunette, hazel eyes, the braces, daddy. I don't know. And then I can't find it. But that was,
That was then, this is
that was then,
now.
and this is now.
Yeah.
But
Got
that's
it.
how crazy I would get with it. I would sincerely need to like jerk constantly. I think a lot of it was also trauma relationship with myself
Mm.
and just kind of being like, I'll just do it myself kind of thing. I don't need anybody. I don't know. It's tough to you know look inward and tell you why, but it was bad. And I think after this is on silent. I don't know why it keeps making noises, but it's definitely silenced. Um, but yeah, my late 20s, early 30s, I was like, this is terrible. Like this is like when you if you stop thinking with your dick for long enough and really soak in what you're
Yes.
watching,
Mm-hmm.
and then I did a little research and I watched a couple interviews and read some stories and I'm like, this is fucking terrible. Like the things these women have to go.
Oh, yeah.
I am all for sex workers. I think prostitution should be legal. I'm all for sex work as a job, stripper, whatever. You do you. But porn, I've heard so many horror stories.
There's a lot of horror stories with strippers, though.
Yeah, there is.
I mean, most of those girls didn't come from a happy home with a father, and a
No.
lot. Then that's not to say they don't exist, because of course you're always going to have exceptions to everything. But normally, you talk to a sex worker. Do you ever watch Soft White Underbelly on YouTube?
No.
Soft White Underbelly is
Sounds like it could be a porn though.
well, funny you should say. No, I'm kidding. No, it's this guy. His name's Mark. I can't think. It's Mark Leda.
Cuban.
Something. It's Mark Leda or something. He was a professional photographer, and he set up a studio on Skid Row. And he would do these. He would take portraits of people he would see. Well, the portraits then morphed into he started interviewing these people. And a lot of the people he interviews are drug addicts on Skid Row, prostitutes, and he's right in the heart of it in that shitty part of California. Like literally right there. But the homeless stuff is insane. The stuff he sees is crazy, but he interviews these people and they're fascinating. And Sophia and I have even watched some of them. And some might say, why would you watch that with your kid? Well, I wanted to show her, I wanted to see if she could pick up on a theme with everything. So we watched a few, and I go, what are you noticing about every single one of these broken people? And she's like, they were abused or they came from a really horrible home. And I'm like, exactly. And pornography
So
and
get ready, girl. Get those heels shined.
no, but that was an underlying theme was, these people who were drug addicts, it wasn't uncommon that they were raped by their parent and then they were sold sold on the street by their parents, and then they get into this life of drugs and craziness, and the common denominator was the trauma that these people had in their childhood. And once you understand how the pornography industry operates and you realize that a lot of it are these young girls who've been abused, who are, whether they're doing it because they got to pay for a drug addiction or whatever the case may be, those people are broken. And it just perpetuates these broken people to create more broken people. It's like a cycle. So I don't understand how people could, and it's not to say I've never watched porn. I'm not a total prude. But
That's why I stick to the homegrown porn.
once you kind of understand how it operates and how a lot of these girls are, it might seem like they're having a good time, but they're not.
No.
It's
Assholes turning into a fucking pink sock. Just
yeah, like a hot dog down a hallway.
Yeah, they're not having a good time.
No. And of course, people are going to listen to this, and what are they going to say? Oh, there are people who do enjoy. Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, I'm sure there are.
But I'd put money on it that they are fucked up, that something happened to them, whether they were molested, beaten. There's something going on, because that's not usually the profession that stable people go into, right?
I don't know. I think that's an assumption. I think that in certain instances, sex work sometimes, that there are people that just aren't school people. There are people that just aren't tradespeople. There are some men and women who are like, I'm good at sex. Well, let's make a career out of it. I'm doing it for free. Why don't I get paid for it? I think that exists. I agree that there's probably most have some sort of underlying trauma, clearly. But yeah, I think there's probably more than you would think that choose it as maybe a viable right now job, but obviously there's no longevity in it,
Mm-hmm.
Well, there is if you're into that sort of thing. But there's a porn prime, so to speak. I mean, I feel more bad for the women than the men. I'm sure men get the same thing, in certain ways.
Do you know what's a really weird genre of porn that I think is the most toxic?
Other than like degradation?
Other than, yeah, I'm not. It's you might get it. It's a specific genre that I've noticed.
Rape?
No, the fucking family porn shit. The
Oh, that's my favorite.
stepdaddy does this, or grandpa does like that type of shit.
Grandpa walks in on sleeping granddaughter.
Yeah, like, to me, that is, you are normalizing something that should not be normalized.
I think that might be why people watch it. The taboo nature, because there's very few things now that are taboo. 30 years
Well,
ago,
right.
if I saw a dick in an asshole, my mind would have exploded.
Well, this goes back to what I said before, which is that this is what happens when it's just a free for all.
Well, this is also, I think, why porn is in that addiction category, because you get to a point where you're looking for that that fix, and that girl on girl just ain't doing it for you
No,
anymore.
now it's like I want a midget getting drilled by 7 black guys in the back of a van and takes a facial.
Yep.
Like
That's in my search history too.
see, I'm a psychic.
Yeah.
I picked it up.
Yeah, especially the midget. Love midgets. They're like mystical. They're like almost not real people. Yeah, they're like fairies. I don't know. Little midget. Midgets are good luck, I think.
Willow!
Yeah.
Remember that movie?
Of course.
The best midget movie out of them all.
No, the best is the Leprechaun, which was
Oh.
also the same character.
Yeah, the
what's
same
his
guy.
Face?
Yeah, the same guy.
What's his face?
I forget his
it
name,
starts
but
with
I
a-
know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's gonna bother me. I'm gonna look him up because he was also R2D2,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean he's the only steady working midget in Hollywood.
Well, other than what's his face from Game of Thrones.
Yeah, you're right.
He's getting parts.
Well, yeah, that's because Warwick Davis is too old now. So now he's passed the baton over.
You get to be the token midget.
Right. Which
Awesome.
is a shame because
Mhm.
there should be more midget representation in Hollywood.
Hey, inclusivity, guys.
Right.
Get on
Don't
the
be
midgets.
Don't be heightist. And dude from Game of Thrones, again, I can't remember.
I can't think of his name either.
Game of Thrones. What was his name? Where is cast? Peter Dinklage.
How did I not remember that gay name?
I don't know.
Dinklage.
Yeah.
What?
Is that his real name?
I don't know.
Or did he get changed?
Why would you pick Dinklage, though?
Because I don't know. Sounds like a midget name.
Dinky?
Yeah.
Dinklage? Maybe.
Yeah, the old Dinklage. No, because his parents are Dinklages.
Well, see?
Are they full size? Yeah.
Hmm.
His dad looks like Hordor. John Carl Dinklage and Diane Dinklage.
The Dinky Dinklage.
Who is Peter Dinklage's dad? Oh no, I think his dad's a midget. Yeah. Oh no, that's just a guy, a Pakistani lookalike. Anyway, I was like, yeah, he looks a little brown, a little brown to be his dad. So yeah, porn is
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad. It's destructive,
It's very destructive.
and
You harness more power when you don't jizz all the time, I think.
I don't know.
Don't get rid of your super jizz juice unless you
Oh
I'm
no,
kidding.
no, it's still in full force. Don't worry. Don't you worry. I could fill a
Don't even
fill a
need to know.
Ziploc.
I'll believe you. I don't even need to know. Don't need to know.
Yeah. I will say that, you know, sexually speaking, life has been much better since I've stopped watching porn.
Yeah, it usually is.
I think the main issue that I've always had, other than from the performer's perspective, you know, my perspective is for so many years, you know, I'd watch it and I'd be like, oh, okay, so women like it when I smash their face down with my foot and make them suck on my big toe? Like, okay, that's interesting. You know, and then you got all these like fucking algebraic formations that you have to, like, these weird Cirque du Soleil positions. You're
Kama
like,
Sutra?
yeah, well, Kama Sutra makes a little bit more sense, but you know, and it's like once I stopped focusing on that and I just,
It's
you know,
almost like we're not meant to watch it, right?
right,
Yeah.
you know, stick to the old homegrown.
Make the naughty video and then don't
Yeah.
let anyone see it.
I did that once. I recorded myself once, and that VHS is probably in a stack in Mom's.
VHS.
Yeah, it was a VHS recorder.
What?
It was a VHS camcorder that I used, like a fucking big one, like because that's all I had. I didn't have a camera phone or something like we growing up.
Were
We
you
never
fucking 12 when you made this?
I
What
was
the
16, 17.
God?
Yeah.
Hey, that's considered
Well, we were both.
doesn't matter.
Well, again, it's probably sitting in a box in Mom's garage.
Mom's gonna try and watch a VHS
One day she's gonna
one
be
day.
like, "Is this Christmas '97?" And then she's gonna pop it in, and she's just gonna see my fucking balls slapping. Just
God. Oh, Jesus Christ.
like a hamster. Because that's what I thought back then. I was like hard and fast. That's what the ladies like,
Oh my God.
and that indeed was not what the ladies liked.
For those wondering, I'm sitting here with my head in my hands because this is just more information, just too much information.
Well, watch the video. What can I say?
No thanks.
It was the worst angle too. Like clearly, I wasn't meant to be a filmmaker.
This is cinematically garbage.
Cinematically garbage. It was all my butthole. Like there was nothing arousing about that video whatsoever. You could have been watching lions fuck. Like it was just ugh. You know. Actually, I wish I could look back on that video.
Mm.
I was
And
in-
watch child porn. Got it.
I was in great shape. Great shape. Might be a motivator for me.
See, you need to be shamed.
Right. Well, no, I think, well, yes, now I need to be shamed, but back then there's no shame in that version of me. Now, yes, of course. Maybe I'll ask Mom to pull out the
Oh God.
Christmas '97.
Well, in
know.
'97, you weren't 16.
No,
You
but
just
I
recorded
recorded
over it?
over it. Yeah.
Oh, big. That's a rookie move, dude.
I feel okay. If I'm speaking honestly, I recorded over something, but I don't think it was like a Christmas or a birthday.
like-
I think it was like a friend's recording or something, like something Mom recorded on TV, and I was like, "Fuck this, we're never gonna watch this," and I used it, and obviously I got my girlfriend's permission. And I didn't have a tripod, so I had to sit it on my dresser, which was
Mhm.
also where my TV was and everything. And it was positioned just all wrong. I looked like I was raping my bed. Like you couldn't even see her in the shot. All
Got
you
it.
could see was my ass. And we watched it after, and I remember I was like, "Oh, we're never gonna watch that ever again." Like, this is bad. I might have actually recorded over it with like wrestling or something. But anyway, this has been a great end. Great end to this podcast. All right, well, this is Tony and Tina Talks. I don't know what we're gonna talk about next time. I'm sure something fun and interesting will happen
It always
between
does.
now and then. So catch you later.
Toodles.